Okay, so first thing, unfortunately, finding a career is not just step A and then step B and you're done. And it is time to start thinking about your career path. It does need work, and we want to help you guys map that out. We do have a lot of resources available for you that you can use and just find out what's the best major for you and what's the future career path for you. And even if you already know your major, maybe you're junior, senior, you already have that, you're ready to go, but maybe you don't necessarily know where you want to go with that, and we can certainly help you figure that out. So we're going to play a little game called Guess This Job. Normally when we are in person, we ask you guys to stand up, and then as we show the prompt, if you wouldn't want to do that, you would sit down. No need to do that right now, so just think about it in your head and kind of decide if that's something you would want to do or not. Just a little participation, if you want to message in the chat what you think the position is, please feel free to do that. And at the end, before I say what it is, we will throw some guesses out there. So here we go. First one. This person works inside an office type setting, and you may have to stand for long periods of time. People in this job work long, irregular hours, sometimes 18-hour shifts, and almost half work over 50 hours per week. So again, if you have any thoughts on what this is, please feel free to send that in the chat. It takes, on average, 13 years beyond high school to get the training needed for this job. And people in this job have a very strong interest in science, and they enjoy helping others. I see some chats popping up. It isn't uncommon for people in this job to make it, on average, almost $250,000 per year. People in this job must quickly make difficult decisions, be very self-motivated, and dedicated to their job. So what job am I describing? Kim, do you want to say a few guesses?
We actually have 3 guesses, and they're all exactly the same. They're guessing doctor.
Perfect. Good job, you guys. That's right. It's a physician or surgeon. So give yourself a pat on the back. And again, if any of you guys are pursuing that career path, I just want to say thank you, especially in this time. It is crazy, and those positions are much needed. So we're going to do it one more time. So here we go. The earning potential for this job goes up to $60,000 with just a high school diploma. This job exists in some of the most exotic locations on Earth. You will meet many interesting people while performing this job. People will be drinking and smoking around you as you perform this job. You will not. So again, if you guys have any guesses, please send them in the chat. You will be required to wear a uniform while performing this job. You'll be constantly monitored by a supervisor, often by remote, while performing this job. And many people consider this job to be immoral. So any guesses for what job?
Not so far.
Oh, okay. All right, drum roll, please. This is a blackjack dealer. So these positions just go to show you that it doesn't always matter what the salary is. Sometimes you need to keep in mind the work-life balance, the family, social, that kind of stuff. And again, is it against your moral compass? And so please keep those things in mind while you're selecting a career path. And so there's an infinite number of job possibilities. Thankfully, we are not ants. We don't have 2 options, worker or soldier, or maybe queen if you're one of those. And so just want to tell you there's so many more options than we think of. Thankfully, it's not like the ones we grew up hearing about, like teacher and lawyer, doctor, nurse, fireman. It's not just those few positions. There's so many more. We would all be very bored and unhappy if those were our only options. And so just an example I want to give you guys of just having a career path, but also having a backup, is take an accounting student. Maybe they're 100% sure that that is their future, that's what they want to do, and then they get to college, get into some of their accounting classes, and they hate them. So what are they going to do now? Well, one option that this person found out was an actuary, a position they never knew about. I didn't know about until this. And so it's someone who guesses what people will do, when people will die, and does statistical analysis on exact dates. Another example is take a young lady who grows up wanting to be a marine biologist. Maybe they don't have They have no plan B. That's what they're going to do. They've been wanting to do that since they were 5. And then she goes to college, and she does great in the program. But then she falls in love, gets married. Her husband gets a job in, I don't know, the Panhandle where it's dirt and no water. So what's she going to do now? She doesn't have a plan B, and there's no idea what to do next. So be sure you're thinking outside of the box when you're exploring your options, and having backup plans as well. And so that's where MyPlan comes in. It can help you do this and help you kind of determine some backups for that. So what is MyPlan, you might be asking? Keep throwing that word around. That's the title of this webinar. And that is a web-based career assessment and a research site with 4 career assessments, and it helps you generate a list of top occupations. It's something provided by WT, and it's completely free to you. We provide you a code, and so just so that you can learn a little bit more about that during this. Like I said, there are 4 assessments. There is the career personality test, the career interest inventory, career skills profiler, and career values assessment. And so this is just a picture of what you'll see when you log into MyPlan. And so a little bit about each one. The career personality test, it's 60 questions, should take you about 20 minutes, and it's questions for which do you prefer. It kind of helps you determine emotional focus, information gathering, decision making, and structural orientation. This is actually the Myers-Briggs personality test, if you're familiar with that. There's 16 types. And so when you're taking the test, it's important that you pick an option. You might feel like, well, I would rather not be called sensitive or sensible. Maybe you want to be called sensational, but you need to pick the best one for you. And so which one describes you the most? Maybe that's putting yourself in different scenarios. So for the constantly late or constantly bossy, maybe imagine you have a coworker and colleague who is always late and you're having to pick up the slack for them. Or maybe they are constantly bossing you and telling you what to do. Which one bothers you more? And so that's how you can select the response. And again, the time frame may vary for you, just depends on how quickly you decide, or if it takes a little bit longer to select that, or it depends on how well you know yourself. And so the next one is the career interest inventory. This is 75 questions, should take you roughly 25 minutes, give or take. And it's would you rather questions. The results will give you your top 2 primary interest areas out of 6, and those are realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. And it only gives you your top 2, or it gives you your top 6, or excuse me, sorry, gives you the 6 in order, but it goes in more into detail on your top 2. And so you still have a description of the others, just without as much detail. And there's also it ranks you where you are in the US for each of those options. And so the next one is the career skills profiler test, 35 questions, about 15 minutes. It's a scale ranking method, and it gives you the 35 skill categories, ranking them with your top 22. And it just provides you a profile review of basic social problem solving, technical, and resource management skills just based on your responses. And you're able to go in and update some of those skills. So like reading is on there. You can update how well you are in reading, and it'll update your career matching based on that. And you're actually able to compare 739 different careers side by side with all 35 skill areas in your order. Next is the career values test. This one should be the quickest one, just depending on how well you know yourself. And it's 20 questions, 12 minutes. You rank your values, and the results are 6 work values ranked. So support, relationships, achievement, recognition, working conditions, and independence. This, like I said, it can be the fastest one unless you struggle to rank things. The cards you sort represent unique work needs or underlying motivators that can be used to predict job satisfaction. And it helps us to understand what motivates us at work. So what do we need to be happy? And next we have just the career match. So after you take all 4 assessments, you'll receive a list of top jobs that fit your results. And so this is a list of someone's results with the composite score and their level of education. And this percentage, it's not, it's a little bit confusing, but you just need to understand that a pharmacist took the same assessments as you, and their responses were percent matched with your responses. That doesn't necessarily mean you need to go be a pharmacist, but you have some of the same skills and values. Maybe you enjoy the same kind of work environment, working on your feet, not really sitting at a desk kind of a job. And so sometimes the results may be completely different than maybe what you're thinking you want to go into. For example, I have a friend whose results, or she wanted to be a counselor, but she got mortician and police officer. But those are connected in a way because, like, as a mortician, you're caring for people, you're very empathetic, you're guiding through them, make better decisions and to learn how to do things right. And so that's something similar to what a counselor does. So if you feel that maybe these results aren't very accurate for you, you either maybe didn't answer as true to yourself as you should have, or you may need to change the which test you're sorting it by or your level of education. Excuse me. And so right here it says composite score. That means all of your tests, all 4 assessments combined, but you can actually sort that into the different types of tests you took, as well as the level of education. And so level 5 is the highest. It goes from high school, some training after high school, 2-year degree, 4-year degree, graduate degree, and then all education level. So every time you change the filter, your results will be different. All right, and so this is just a picture of how it changes. So I took this test my freshman year, 2013, and then I took it again after I'd completed my master's degree back in December. And so it just shows you how the results do change. They vary. Your percentages are going to change. But I mean, if you look at mine, you're like, wow, that's very sciencey. And if you know me, I'm really not a very sciencey person, but I am like strategic, data-driven. I enjoy learning new things. And so that's just kind of how you have to look at it. But yeah, so that's just how it changes. Um, and now we're going to talk a little bit about strengths-based career planning. You want to make sure your career path fits who you are. So it's really important that you find a career or a job that plays to your strengths. This will give you a passion and drive in your work and allow you to strive. So if you find a job that doesn't fit your strengths, it will be lots of work and you will likely tire easily. You won't be very engaged in the workplace. You won't be happy. But also don't think that if I have these top 5 strengths, that means I have to do this role. That's not how it works. You and I could have the exact same top 5 strengths, but maybe you're happy being an accountant working in a cubicle, whereas I'm happy working in higher education, working with students, and now working from home. So it's just how you use the strengths and how the job utilizes your strengths. And so if you don't know this, WT is a strengths-based campus, and we offer the Clifton Strengths Assessment for all students. It's free, and you're able to learn your top 5. Kim, if you don't mind sharing that link if you haven't already, that would be great. Thank you. And knowing this can be beneficial in many ways. One of which is you can learn more about, or excuse me, one thing that is beneficial that you can learn more about is South Mountain Community College has a website that shows the key aspects of a career to look for when you're knowing your top 5. So I'm going to show you that website real quick. Can we give me a thumbs up if you can still see my screen?
I can.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. So this is South Mountain Community College. Kim's going to share that link if she hasn't already. And so again, strengths doesn't mean like if I have these top 5, I do this job. That's not how it works. It's how you use your strengths in the workplace. So for example, my number 1 strength is activator. And before I knew that, I was always like, why am I so impatient? Why can't I just wait? But that's just who I am. And I love just getting started on a task. And so one example that I highlighted is find work that allows you to make your own decisions and then act upon them. That was healthy for me because if I have to wait on someone to make a decision before I can act, I get super impatient and it stresses me out. But having the ability to make those decisions for myself helps me to just feel more engaged in the workplace, feel more important, feel like I'm able to utilize my strengths. So a couple of other examples, like if competition is in your top 5, make sure you find a place with healthy competition. You want to maybe compete for that bonus, or you win trips if you do X sales, that kind of thing. A couple others, so like ideation. If if you have this, you come up with ideas, and you want to be sure that you're in a workplace that allows you to share those ideas and foster those ideas. And so that's just a few examples. But yeah, so we offer strengths coaching at WT. There are numerous strengths coaches just throughout the campus, but within our office, we have, I think, 5 of us are strengths coaches certified. And so you're able to schedule appointments with a strengths coach to kind of talk about your top 5 strengths and just learn how you can use those in the workplace. I just want to share with you guys that your future is dependent on what you want and not what others want for you. So make sure when you're making those decisions that you are picking what you want and not what other people think that you should do. Because I mean, it's your life. You're the one that has to live it. So you want to live happily and enjoy what you're doing. So next is just about career coaching. This can help you kind of decipher what major or career path is best for you. And we can do this based upon your MyPlan results as well as your strength assessment, and just kind of help you make a plan A, B, and C. So again, if you're a marine biologist who lives in a Texas panhandle, you're definitely going to need a plan B. And in career services, we're here to walk you through your results and just help you focus on your strengths, help you find the best major and the future career for you. And we want to help you pursue your purpose in a way that makes you happy. And so I was just going to share with you a little bit about my story. I'm sure many of you guys have heard about the butterfly effect. So you step on a butterfly, you make a drastic change down the road. Small changes just result in big changes. And so like I told you guys, I took MyPlan my freshman year. Didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. Came to college. My parents went to college. My siblings went to college. So it just seemed like the right thing to do. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And so I met with a career counselor at the time. And she really helped ask me probing questions that really made me kind of realize, what do I really want? What do I really like? And as you saw my results, I was very sciencey. But she knew based on our conversations that my passions were more creative, like writing and things like that. And so against my better judgment and against her advice, I went with computer science. Lasted about 2 weeks. Absolutely hated it. And I'm not saying that having a career counselor means they'll tell you what to do and they'll tell you what's right and wrong, but I did go against some of the advice. And she had asked me, Abby, if you do sciencey things, are you going to be happy? Because what about your writing passions? And I was like, I'll just write on the side. It'll be fine. But it wasn't fine. And so I was able to use her tips, do research, found Mass Comm, which I loved because I could do writing, but I had just a wide variety of options that I could go into after. And then here comes my butterfly. I got a position as a resident assistant, and then later a hall director. And even though I was taking Mass Comm, taking classes I loved, doing stuff I loved, writing, I found that I really loved working with students and helping students. And just, I learned so much from that made a huge impact on my life. And that butterfly really, it changed the impact and direction for me. So I ended up getting a master's, mostly so I could stay and keep working with students, doing what I loved until I kind of figured out where in WT I fit and what I could do. And timing was great. God was great. Butterflies were great because I got a job, or career services had a job opening, and I was able to get that position. And that's where I realized a great place to serve students is with career services. And so all that to say, not to that everyone should work in career services. If you want to, we'd love to have you, love to help you. But sometimes you just need something that's maybe it's a part-time job or an internship that points you back in the direction of what you really want and what you really love. And so in career services, we want to help you find those butterflies. We want to help you not kill people like butterfly effect might do, but find the perfect job for you. Find out what you love to do and pursue those opportunities. Maybe you're a nursing major because your mom was a nursing major and your sister is, and pursues that for their career. But you love history, and so we can help you get connected to people in that career field. And maybe that's where you'll realize that you want to help people, and that's where you got that nursing idea. But maybe you can help people through understanding the past so we can have a better future. So like that. And so we can help you with these conversations and kind of work through the thought processes and understand what you're passionate about and how you can get there. So our passion and purpose is to help you find your passion and purpose. And so if you are attending this webinar for a class assignment, we do have this assignment for you to complete for that class. However, if you're just taking this for fun, we'd still love for you to complete this. It would be a great opportunity for you to learn. And so the assignment is take the 4 MyPlan assessments, and then within your results, whether it's in the composite score or the different education levels or the different assessment levels, identify 5 job titles that interest you. And then if you want to go the extra mile for yourself and do something good, schedule an appointment with one of us in Career Services to kind of discuss your results. We'll open the floor to questions. First, are there any in the chat that we should answer, Kim, before we open it to the students?
There are no questions in the chat.
Okay. If you guys have a question, please feel free to unmute yourself, and we will go from there.
I have a question for you, Abby. How do you decide which education level you choose when you're looking at your results? How do you pick whether it's a high school or a master's degree?
Thank you for asking that. So you'll want to select that based on, right now we would like you to select it where you are right now as an undergraduate student, or if you're an alum and you're coming back, whatever your highest level of education is. If maybe you're a freshman, sophomore, and you're like, I really don't feel like any of the majors at WT are what I want to do, come talk to us and let's look at your results at level 2, or I think it's level 3, the associate's degree. There might be an option there for you, but I mean, we want you to stay at WT because we love you and we want you to get the best education. But if that best education is at a junior college or a community college, then that's what you need. But yeah, so base it off where you are now. But if you're interested in pursuing a master's degree and willing to do the extra education, by all means, please select that one so that you can know all of your options.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Oh, thank you for asking that, Martha. I apologize for not sharing that. We do have a code. It's on the WT website. It's just next to the link to MyPlan. And so if you go to wtmu.edu/career and then select, Kim just shared the link, so I won't explain how to get there. But yeah, so the link is there. So good question. Thank you.
And if you get in and it does ask you for credit card information, back out and give us a call and we will get you situated so that it's free. The other thing I'd like to reiterate, I've been doing this for a while, and I think the worst thing you can do is take the MyPlan, look at the list and decide, oh, I don't want to do any of these things. So I really would encourage you, as Abby said, it's not a list of the top 10 things you should be when you grow up. It's really meant to help you just kind of do some exploration. And so take the MyPlan and then make an appointment with Abby or with one of our other career coaches, and let us look at it with you to kind of help you work through that list, because there really is good information inside of all of that.
And kind of going off that, you might find a job title you didn't know existed, like an actuary or something that you maybe didn't know. Oh, I could do that. I love that. All right, last chance for questions.
I had a question.
Okay.
Yeah, where do you actually find this the MyPlan assessment at?
Yeah, so it'll be in the link. Do you have access to the chat?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So Kim sent that. It says link to
Okay.
career coaching.
Got it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
perfect. If it's for a class, I think you'll submit the assignment just in a Word document to your professor. Hopefully they've given you specifications for that as well.
Yes. Okay.
Will we need all these links, or are they just optional?
They're just optional. The first link, or one of them, is the link to MyPlan, and the other one is just that link to South Mountain Community College that just kind of gives you information on the strengths.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.